Is Sunday, April 6th, almost the top of the hour, and we're playing the puzzles. I'm doing a test today. I just woke up. I mean, and look at my hair, right? I just woke up. I'm doing a test to see if my mental acuity is sharper right when I first wake up, or do I need to give it a little while? So, like, this is me, like, groggy in the morning. See if I can do the puzzle. I also wanted to see kind of who's online in the morning, right? Do I have more people online in the morning, or is, right after school when I usually get there, kind of a sweet spot? So it'll be kind of interesting to compare the numbers this spring break. I'm on spring break right now, versus the usual day when I wait until after I get home. I've also noticed that less people know the answers early in the morning. I mean, if you're in an earlier time zone, then yeah, maybe you've done the puzzle quicker than I have. But if I do the puzzle first thing in the morning, then how many people chime in and do the answer because they know the answer already, versus are you going to just like do the puzzle with me because you haven't done the puzzle yet? It'll be interesting to compare that. All right, let's dive in. Let's do the puzzle. We're doing connections first, and then we'll do, of course, the mini crossword. Let's put this back up. There we go. Now I can see all my little windows. And then we'll do the Wordle, and then the Strands, kind of word search puzzle, and then the letterbox. Yeah, maybe I do need to wake up a little bit first. Like, literally, I woke up like maybe 20 minutes ago. All right, so connections. 4 groups of 4. We're going trash, pizza, cable, remote, cool, water, hip, resistance, current, Spike Lee, oh my gosh, dovetail, gas, reserved, voltage, distance, and charge. Okay. So, I don't know why I saw this first, but I saw voltage, current, right? Like amperage. Or is voltage current? Resistance, I know that's a, like ohms, measured in ohms. And then charge, those are all like electrical terms. What an electrometer measures, yep. I have a really nice multimeter. It takes a 9-volt battery, but it can tell you the voltage, the amperage, the ohms, the resistance. 99% of the time, I just use it as a continuity meter because I'm soldering cables together or something. Okay, so what else? Hip, cool. Gas, the new generation says something's gas. What's another one? Or that something's trash. That's trash. But all of these other ones are good things. I don't know. We'll come back to it. Dovetail is like a cut. It's like a joint in woodworking. What does Spike Lee have to do with anything? Cable. You have to pay your cable bill, you have to pay your gas bill, you have to pay your water bill. Oh, and your trash. You're paying for trash and sewer. Okay, utilities. Great. Why did I think of the bill first? Maybe I'm due to pay pay those bills. Spike Lee. Wasn't he in Blade Runner? Or Blade. He was just in Blade. Remote, distant, reserved. what's the other one? This should be the easiest category. Reserved, distant, and remote. Those are, they're removed. But what are these other ones? Dovetail? Dovetail? Oh, crud. Is it hip? No. Oh, shoot. Aloof, cool, distant, remote, and reserved. What does cool have to do with anything? That one's not making as much sense. And that was the easy category, yellow. I used to have it in my head that the green was the easiest category, and then people corrected me, and they're like, "Well, in the actual instructions, it's yellow and then green." I'm like, "You got to be kidding me," because I always get the green one first, right? And no, sure enough, in the official rules, yellow is the easiest one. But sometimes yellow has a couple of weird curveballs in it, like this one: aloof, cool, distant, remote, and reserved. Like if you're just like mellowed out, I might go for mellow instead of cool, or maybe replace one of these ones. Okay, now what on earth do these have to do with each other? Pizza box, hip, spike, and Spike Lee. Huh? Spike Lee joint. Dovetail joint is like a cut in woodworking. Hip joint, you might, in your later years get your hips replaced. You get your hip joint replaced. Pizza joint. And then Spike Lee joint. I'm sorry, let me look this up. I love learning new things. But what on earth does Spike Lee joint mean? Each of Lee films is typically referred to as a Spike Lee joint, and the closing credits always ends with the phrase, "by any means necessary." Okay, so you expect me to know, like, an inside joke of Spike Lee? I don't know. Okay, well, that one was a stretch. I don't know. Spike Lee joint. I've never heard that. That's a new one for me. All right, let's play the mini crossword. Looks like a 5x5 today with lots of 3-letter answers. Yesterday was a 7x7, and there were quite a few more longer answers. We had to go back and forth, up and down, left and right a couple of times to get that one finished. Nibble is to food, as maybe sip as to drink, is to drink. Like a kid doodling in class, maybe. Maybe that's just an artist. That doesn't fit. Like a kid doodling in class. Oh, maybe they're bored. They're bored. Popular Disney Plus show about a family of Australian cattle dogs. Oh, yeah, my kids love it. Bluey. We don't have a lot of subscriptions, but Disney Plus is an important one for my kids. Fill in as a puzzle, like enter, write. I don't know. We'll come back to that one. That could be a few different things. Perceive, maybe see. Some first chair performances in an orchestra. Oh, solos. Go me, I rule. Yeah, so all of the ones that we have so far are correct because everything in the down clues are fitting in. Loud chewing or talking in a movie. Pet peeve. Ammo for a Red Ryder rifle. BBs. And then part of an Easter egg dyeing kit is dye. It looks like more and more this year, people are doing other things besides dyeing eggs. I've even seen people wanting to dye potatoes just because they're cheaper than eggs. You get those little mini tiny potatoes and you dye those. Oh, that's funny. Nibble is to food as sip is to drink. Like a kid doodling in class, bored. Yeah. Kids now don't. Well, some do doodle in class, but a lot of kids, when they're bored, just try and find every distraction possible, either on their phone or on the computer, or they're each given like a Chromebook, we were just given recently a form to fill out, a survey, talking about the great things about technology and the great things about AI in the classroom. 99% of it is distraction. About 6 years ago, I did a master's thesis about distraction. And so when the state comes up and says, "Oh, tell us all about the wonderful things that are happening," they're putting this rosy coat on top of how great these technology pieces are, AI and stuff. I even wrote in, I was like, "Hey, I see that you're trying to put this rosy ring on it, but not to be a total downer, but AI and all this is mostly a bad thing in the classroom." Do I use it? I use it all the time. I use it absolutely all the time for idea generation, not for writing my essay, right? Kids will just kind of like mindlessly copy and paste the prompt into ChatGPT and then mindlessly copy and paste the answer. They didn't even read it. They didn't learn anything from it. And so, like, what do you get out of it? The technology in a classroom, a lot of times, more often than not, is a service for their distraction rather than a service for their learning. So we have a lot to compete with. I think that's my argument, is we have a lot to compete with as teachers, and kids get bored very easily because their attention spans literally are shorter now. I mean, I've been teaching for almost 14 years now, and there is a clear decline in attention span. It's pretty wild. So anyway, bored, a kid doodling in class. They might be doing even worse than doodling if they're bored. Popular Disney Plus show about a family of Australian cattle dogs. Bluey. Let's see. Bluey, Bingo. I forget all the names. My kids could tell. They could quote the whole show. They watch it over and over. Fill in as a puzzle. Of course, we're solving. Solve the puzzles. Perceive, to see. Some first chair performances in an orchestra. Solos. Go me. I rule. Self-proclaimed. Loud chewing or talking during a movie. Peeve. There was one time, oh my gosh, this is a funny story. So I was in a movie one time, and this lady behind me, these two ladies were having just a little chit chat, right? Just talking, and I was like, okay, it's through the previews, and they're still talking. And we were like maybe 3 minutes into the movie, and they were still chit chatting, and it was definitely peeving me. It was a pet peeve of mine. It's more than a pet peeve. It's just rude, right? It's disrespectful. And so I turned my head around like this. I whipped my head around and I said, "Is this going to happen the whole time?" And they were like, "No." And they were quiet the whole rest of the time. It was really funny. It was great. I don't remember what movie. It may have been a play or something, but I remember whipping my head around. I was like, "Is this going to happen the whole time?" And they were like, "Oh, sorry." Just be aware of who's around you. Like, that's one of like the classic Miller rules of, just my kids is like, don't just like live in your own universe. Think of how what you're doing impacts the people around you. Like, be aware of who's around you. And there's a lot less awareness now too. Speaking of things that have happened over the last 14 years that I've noticed, everyone is a main character now in a school. That's crazy. Ammo for a Red Ryder rifle. BBs. I've never owned a BB gun. My cousins kind of off in the country, they had BB guns. Even like the little girl that had a BB gun too. Part of an Easter egg kit, the die. Yeah, just add eggs, right? Not a whole lot of other things you need to do Easter egg. I guess vinegar, right? You need vinegar to make that happen too. All right, we are on a 54-day streak. That's pretty cool. That's almost 2 months doing live streams like this. We've done live streams, I think, what, 3 months, 4 months? It's been a while, but sometimes they get interrupted and stuff, but I've been very consistent for the last 2 months. That's cool. Okay, let's come up with a 5-letter word. I don't have like a usual go-to word. I just sort of like dive in and make it happen, right? Sort of deal with it. So like if we started with, I don't know. That would give away, I was going to say front, but that gives away too many consonants and we don't learn any vowels. What about grain? Okay, cool. There's an I and an A, but they're in the wrong place. And then my second move is usually to come up with a non-intersecting word. A word that doesn't use any of those first words, or for the first letters. Oh, that's cute. We could do cloud. Okay, that gives us an L. And then if I can, I try to squeak out a third non-intersecting word. Oh, look at this. If my dyslexia won't type in here. Types. Oh my gosh, help. Types. I can't type. Oh, and no help. Okay. Well, they're all in the wrong place, but somewhere there's an L. That's not an L. An L, an A, an I, and then 2 other words. Somewhere. Could we rearrange these letters to create something? So L can go with other consonants. For example, FL. Or BL. There's no E. But it can't be something L. It can't be, because I tried it in the L in the second position, and it doesn't go there. So what if it's an L word? Do the A and the I go together though? Okay, so that's helpful to know that it's not like blank L. Okay. And if you are like screaming the answer to me in the chat, I'm so sorry. I'm like purposefully not looking. So if you're like, well, duh, here's the answer. I am not looking. So purposefully, I don't know why. I just specifically the Wordle. I love to like productively struggle through it. My chat is on a completely different screen. I've got my main screen right here. I'm looking at it, and I'm only looking at the Wordle. So if you are trying to tell me the answers, then I just simply am not even looking. So there's it's not like a consonant L, because the L can't go in the second. I keep thinking of these consonant L combinations. It's not that. What we need to do is come up with some other letter. I'm going to, like, this is usually what I do. I kind of brute force it. So. Is that a word? No, it's a proper name. A woman's name might be Wilma. Can't be like quail because AI is in the wrong place. I kind of feel like I need to separate the A and the I. Unless I don't. What if it's like... It's like family, but without... Gosh, this one's super tricky. Well, that would show me if there's a W and an H. I'm just trying to think of, should I come up with another non-intersecting word? Should I risk it? Also, I know there's not an E in this puzzle because I've already done it in types and that didn't have one. But that would show at least if the L was in the right place or if the I was in the middle. I don't want to waste the guess. I want to solve the puzzle. If I can, I want to solve the puzzle in four guesses. I usually do it in 4 guesses. What if it's an L word? Lame, label, lamin. No, it can't be there. Not a word. And I see my chat moving. I'm so sorry. I'm not looking at it. I'm purposefully not looking at it. Because I am kind of productively struggling through this. Okay, so if I guess that would tell me if it goes in that order. But really what I want to know is if it starts with an L. So let's come up with a word. Maybe we should. That'll tell me if it's an L word. It's not an L word. Okay. Okay, so then it's either one of these 2 consonants, or these 2 vowels, right? A, blank, something. Maybe we hit the consonant. And it can't be I. I blank L. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with this today. I do know why, because I don't have any yellow letters. Or I don't have any green letters here. I also know why, because I woke up 20 minutes ago. That's why. No. Bylaw? Oh, gosh. That's not a word. Okay. Could be law. Could end in law. I don't mind spending time on this. I really don't. I don't mind figuring out the combination of letters. Okay, we know it doesn't start with an L, so it's not like lilac. Blank, blank. You know, like... And I'm sorry if you're screaming the answer to me in the chat. I'm brute forcing this one myself. So the beginning could be the I, or it could be the A. No, it can't. I thought album, but there's no U, and the L can't go in the second position. Album. Man, oh man. I don't know why I'm really struggling through this. I am just really struggling through this one. Could two letters go together, like a CH? No, we can't do that. No SH, no PH. What about No, it can't start with an L. We already know it doesn't start with an L. I came up with bylaw, but that's not how you spell it. I think it's maybe B-Y, I mean. Okay, so what if it's an I word? This is tough where I still don't know any of the combination of letters. And I've got 2 guesses left. Was it yesterday or the day before? It was krill. And you don't usually think of, like... You don't usually think of K words. I don't know. For a guy that, you know, his first name starts with a K, I have such a hard time coming up with K words. But krill came pretty easily because of the organizational letters. We knew, you know, I think where the L was or something, one of the L's. This one, we're just stuck on the yellow all this time. I'm usually able to get it by the 4th because of my strategy. I come up with 3 non-intersecting words, like words that don't use any of the previous letters. But man, I'm just having a hard time with this. Okay, so let's kind of start from the top. We got an A and an I, but they're not right there. They might not even be together. I mean, look at where we have, like, we have A and then I, and then A and then I, second and third, third and fourth, and it's not AI. So it's not an AI word, because if it was an AI at the beginning, there'd be a consonant at the beginning, right? It's not like you wouldn't start it with AI, would you? Oh gosh. Ailing, ale. See, that wouldn't happen. Or at the end, see, that just, there's not many words that do that. AI. So I feel like we separate them, and my initial inclination is that it's like consonant A, consonant I, consonant. Right? But it might not be. Maybe I'm gaining myself. I'm tricking myself. Right? That's a word, but it doesn't have an L in it. Axiom. Maybe let's work backwards. So what if it ended in an L? We don't know if it ends in an L. It could. There are lots of words that end in AL. Can't be IAL, like radial or something. So what if the I was earlier and it was like, you know, blank MAL, like animal. So maybe it's not consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel. Maybe they are together. But it can't go at the end. Maybe a double L? 2 double L's in 2 days? Is that how you spell vial? No, it's not. We could put the test S at the end. Would at least tell us the position of the L, position of the I. Oh, we can't do the A. Don't do the A there. No way. Oh, wait, that's a word. Hold on. Wait. That's a word. It could be a double L. Could absolutely be a double L. It's surprising if it was a double L, because the double L yesterday, krill, but the V, that's a new letter. I could go there. L could go there. L could also go there if it's a double letter. And A, let's try it. No freaking way. Oh my gosh. I was getting really nervous about that. Oh, good. Romy, you were screaming the answer at me. Okay. I know. I do actually feel dumb. Thank you for that. For the the preview of how am I going to feel. Yes. No, I feel excited, actually. I don't feel dumb. It did surprise me a little bit, because was that yesterday or the day before? The word was krill that had the double L. Maybe they're just going through like all of the different like types of double letters or something, making it more challenging for us or something. So we started with grain, and it was an AI. And that, I think that's what threw me off at the beginning, because AI, it could be like, oh, well, you put the A and the I together. But no, I put the A and the I together on the other side, and it totally didn't work, right? So my 3 non-intersecting words were grain, cloud, and types. I don't have like a go-to word every single day. I just sort of like guess a word and then run with it, and then come up with 2 other words that don't use any of the same letters. Is that the smartest strategy? I don't know. Does it keep my brain active? Yes. No brain, no pain, right? And then I wanted to see the orientation of the letters, so I came up with layers, but that was dumb because the S, there's the S at the end. I already knew that wasn't there. So I came up with layers, and it still was not at the beginning. No help at all. Still yellow letters. And then I brute forced it. They usually don't just add an S to a 4-letter word as the 5-letter word for Wordle. So maybe that's a bad strategy. Maybe I should not go down that road. But hey, you know what? We did it. So Villa. All right. I'm doing a test this morning because I had a good night's rest. I really did. I had a daughter that was sick, and she was up coughing all night for, oh my gosh, like 4 days in a row. And then the last 2 nights, I have been able to sleep a full night's rest, and it was marvelous. It was wonderful. It was like, where has this been all my life? You forget how good sleep is until you actually get to sleep again. But I wanted to do a little experiment. I wanted to see if my mind was like more mentally, acute. I have my mental acuity by just barely waking up. Like literally, I woke up like 20 minutes before I hit the go live button. Or is it more like that my my brain still has to wake up? So I think in some ways my mind was, for coming up with whole words, yeah, I did that great with the mini crossword puzzle. But I guess in the Wordle, it took me a while. So sorry if you ended up, losing interest and going away. Here I'm preaching to the choir because you guys actually stayed. But some people probably left thinking, oh, this is goofy. He's just like, somebody already shouted the answer to him, and it didn't work. Well, thanks. Yeah. Anyway, good stuff. Let's play. Let's play the Strands puzzle. So if you've never played Strands, it's kind of like a word search, but instead of the words going up and down, left and right, we are snaking around to create letters, to create words. I guess my narration, if I just woke up too, is a little bass-ackwards too. I come up with words in all the wrong order because I just barely woke up. All right, today's theme in the Strands is the feeling is mutual. So these are things about being mutual, being equal, or maybe this is about feelings, or maybe this is about like animosity toward people, or things you can feel one to the other. I don't know. Let's see what comes out. The cool thing about the Strands puzzle is that it is very open to interpretation, at least in the beginning. And then eventually we start kind of like unfurling the true meaning of the theme. To get started, I like looking in corners. Sometimes the corners give things away, like an ER or is a CK. What could we use? I see liquor. Oh, but that leaves the E all by itself. Probably not. It usually doesn't snake like that, like crossing, right? Like crossing across like that. Well, I hope it's not about negative things. The feeling is mutual, like hate or maybe just generally feelings. I don't know. So the Wordle I did kind of productively struggle through by myself. This one, I would be happy to have your help. If you're like, oh, I see what the answer is, you know? Like, I don't know, marble. No, that's not it. Actually, it was all about flooring the other day, too. I think 2 days ago, Friday, I was all about flooring, and marble would have been perfect for that. But if you see anything that stands out to you, shout it out in the chat. The Wordle I love to productively struggle through myself without looking at the chat, but the rest of the puzzles are really fun to, to do together. So if you see it, let me know. I wonder why the Z is here. Like, I almost see like magazine or something. ZINE. Yeah, does like probably doesn't do anything. Sometimes I'll just make kind of like strings of words to see if they come up to anything. Later. So what is... Once you start getting it, the theme starts making more sense. But right now the theme is not making sense. Like, I don't know exactly what they're trying to get at here. Games. Play games with someone. Giver. So here's an SH. Shame. Shame is a feeling. Blame. I don't know. Any help? I'm really having a hard time with this one. I'm really struggling here. Gnome. I see the word gnome. Oh, these are tough today. Sunday morning maybe is not the time to wake up early and do puzzles if my mind is not even awake. I typically do this kind of early in the afternoon, like right after school, but my mind is not woken up yet, I guess. Should we use the hint? I mean, there is a hint. Should we hit the hint? Maybe that's the answer. Maybe we hit the hint. Mesh? Mesh? Feeling is mutual. Huh? Are these like different fabrics and they feel different? Mesh? So like, boy, like polyester, woven, mesh? Mesh. Okay, well, what else do you see then? What does it mean? What does it all mean? I don't need sleep, I need answers. Greek? What do you mean the feeling is mutual? Mesh. What does mesh have to do with feelings? Or the way something feels? Mesh. Wait. Okay. I think I get it. And if you get it too, help me out. Because I need help, but I think I have something. The feeling is mutual. We vibe together. We mesh together. We jive. Oh, where's jive? Jive has got to be in there too. Is there a J? There's no J. Oh, we agree. Okay. See, we cracked it open. Yep. Two people that agree. They vibe. They mesh. They what? They kick it. They connect. Oh, here, connect. Ah, ha, 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 ha. They connect. I thought jive would be on there. What else do you see? Oops. Alter. They hang together. like synergize. They lick together? I don't know. Oh, I think I see it. Get along. People that get along. Oh, they click. They don't lick, they click. All right, and then two more. Huge word here, smaller word here. They can relate. Harmonize. Harmonize. There we go. See, it's actually not that hard once you start understanding kind of how the puzzle works, right? Things just start to click. They start to harmonize. They start to make sense. Harmonize. The feeling is mutual. People that become friends, right? They mesh. They vibe. They agree. They click. They harmonize. They relate. And they connect. All right. Well, good. All right, now let's dive in and play the letter box. We spent altogether too long on the Wordle. You'll have to forgive me for that. I don't know. I just very much struggled with the Wordle today. It was weird. Weird Wordle. Okay, today we have to solve in 6, which usually means that it is harder letters or a harder combination of letters. So we've got 12 letters. We're trying to use up all 12 letters in hopefully 6 words or less to make words that connect to each other. So the first letter of the second word is the last letter of the first word, and they link together like that. So we've got an E, S, and I. Okay, glad we have an E and an S. That's a good thing. Ooh, but they're on the same side. That might be tricky. A J, an A, and a U. O, X, and R. M, N, and V. So there's no T. There's no L. There's an E and an S, but they're on the same side. The tricky letters are definitely going to be the V. Not having a T, too. The X is going to be challenging. Probably the J as well. So we can't say like M-A-J. Okay. If you see anything, shout it out in the chat. There's no G, so we can't say like ing letters, ing words. You can't say vaccine because it's with C's, not an X. Jinx, that's a good word. Then we start on an X, though. The problem is we start on an X. What about jinxer? Is that a word? No, it's not a word. I would love to say jinxes with an S, but that doesn't work. That almost spells the name of my my beagle back home. We lost her 10 years ago or something, quite a while ago. There is RE. We can make RE words or EN words. There's no L. Ugh. Re. I keep wanting to spell vaccinate with an X. Rex. Remove. That's an okay word. I'm going to write that down because we might erase something. Remove. Almost renovate. Yeah, that's a great one too. RENOVA. Renovar. Would work in Spanish or Portuguese. We could say van. I'm gonna keep it right here because I want to maybe use it in that. If only we had the Y. Enjoy. Dang. All we have is the word remove. Yeah, if we do removes or remover could get us back over to the R. We can't say removes because E and S are on the same side. How about rejoin? Rejoin. That's an okay one. I'm going to write that down too. That's a good one. I have like 10 sticky notes already over the course of the time that I've used sticky notes. Kind of glad I used sticky notes actually. It's like a save button. I have a save button from all the last couple days in case I need to go back and fix one or just hit restart for some reason. I can't say nurse. Oh, you're good. You're good. Van. Van could work. How about NERVOUS? Is that how you spell nervous? Yes! Awesome. Oh, easy. Easy. Look. Sax, like a saxophone. Great. Oh my gosh. Check that out. Check that out. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we started with remover. What a tricky puzzle. I mean, first off, there's a V, there's an X, there's a J. Like, oh my gosh. Remover got rid of the V, and then the R led us to rejoin, which had a J in the middle. I like using those tougher letters in the middle of the word, not at the end, because then you have to start the next letter, or start the next word with that letter. It's like, ugh, gross. Rejoin, and then N led us to nervous. Another V. Hey, heck, we'll use the V twice. That's fine. And then the S, we just needed to get rid of the X at the end. And we came up with sax. Cool. Oh, nice. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in the letterbox, I think they try not to allow you to use kind of naughty words. Like the right arrangement of those letters could create some naughty words, but instead they prevent you from doing that, right? Like just the arrangement of letters. I think they're pretty smart about it. Okay, so let's take a look at our puzzles today. I stream while you're sleeping. Oh, I'm so sorry. You're late. Oh, that's why you said I'm Kate again. I'm late again. I'm like, well, you can be whoever you want to be. Kate again. Let me tell you why. Maybe you're in a further time zone than I am. But what ends up happening, this is spring break for me. I'm a teacher, right? So I teach, and typically I will stream just right when I get home during the day. And today and this whole week, because we're on spring break, I am kind of doing a test. It's always good to test and see what variables change your analytics and that kind of stuff. And today I wanted to see if waking up super, super, super early and doing the puzzles was what helped activate my brain, because I'm an early bird, right? I think well in the morning. But is that to my demise if it's too early in the morning, right? If I'm waking up way too early, do I regret, waking up that early? Because I can't think straight, right? And I found that my narration, my talking out loud, thinking out loud as I do these, is a little scatterbrained because it's early in the morning. But I do find that I can come up with words pretty well, except for that darn Wordle. Oh my gosh, I was working on that Wordle for altogether way too long. But you know what? Let's go through the puzzles and maybe that'll activate our brains. So yeah, sorry that I'm streaming while you're sleeping. Oh, you're in the UK. All right. Well, yeah, that's what is it? 8 hours different. It's either 7 or 8 or 9 hours different. So I get it. Maybe this is a terrible time for you to come on then. Maybe when it is actually in the afternoon, then it's a little better. But I don't know. You can't please everybody too. That's what I've learned through life. You can do your best to do your best for as many people as you can, but you're not going to please everybody. So I'm very sorry that early in the morning we may not catch you, Frank, but maybe once I go back to later, right after school, and I do it in the afternoon, my afternoon, not your afternoon, maybe that'll fit into a better time slot for you. All right, so the connections puzzle, that was fun. What an electrometer measures, or a multimeter, can measure charge, current, resistance, and voltage. Charge, that's interesting. Two of those are redundant. Voltage and current are the same, right? Or is it amperage that's the current? Oh, I forget. Charge? Charge is kind of a made-up word there. What do you mean charge? I guess it can see if you've charged your battery, but the current is the amperage. The resistance is measured in ohms, right? Ohm's law, and then voltage. Even to this day, I've had lots of experience wiring batteries and stuff, but even to this day, if you were to just immediately ask me, hey, which one is series and which one is parallel, I'll have to look it up. Dyslexia kicks in real hard with this poor guy. I will have to tell you after I Google it, series versus parallel. So if you're into electronics and electrical stuff, and you have a really good way of remembering which one's series and which one's parallel, I don't know. I just always mix them up. It's terrible. All right. Utilities, gas, cable, trash, and water. Aloof. This one was kind of interesting to be an easy puzzle, right? Yellow is the easiest. And I'm like, how easy is this actually? Cool, distant, remote, and reserved. To be aloof. The only one I disagree with maybe is cool. Blank joint, and this one was really tough. Dovetail joint from carpentry. I know that one. Hip joint, right? Y'all have a hip joint on each hip. Pizza joint. Yeah, we're gonna go to the pizza joint. There's a couple of really great pizza joints around here. And then Spike Lee joint. I actually had to look that one up. Apparently, every time Spike Lee makes a movie, they call it a Spike Lee joint. That's news to me. Sounds like an inside joke to somebody. All right, and then Sunday's puzzle. They've got the mini crossword. Nibble is to food as sip is to drink. Like a kid doodling in class, maybe. They're bored. Popular Disney Plus show about a family of Australian cattle dogs, Bluey. My kids absolutely love Bluey. Absolutely just love Bluey. They might be watching Bluey right now, for all I know. Fill in as a puzzle to solve. Perceive to see. Some first chair performances in an orchestra. Solos. Go me! I rule. Self-proclaimed. That's funny. Loud chewing or talking during a movie. Peeve. That's a pet peeve. I told you the story about how my... Oh, gosh. So I was in a movie one time, or a performance or something. I forget what it was. I think it was a movie. But these two girls just like chit-chatting behind me. Two like grown adults. They weren't even like just young girls. They were probably in their late 20s, just chit-chatting through the previews, through like all the beginning stuff, and then the curtain goes down, the lights go down. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're still talking. So then like 2 minutes in, 3 minutes in, they're still talking, and I turned around, right? I kind of whipped my body around, and I was like, is this going to happen the whole time? And they're like, no. And they were good the whole rest of the time. It might have been a play now that I'm thinking about it. I can't remember. I'll have to ask my wife when we get when I get back upstairs. But yeah, it was so funny, and they were like super quiet the whole rest of the time. All right, ammo for. Oh my gosh. Oh! It just came to me. It was not a movie. It was a play that my daughter was in. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're ruining the whole thing. I want to just enjoy my daughter being up on stage, and you're being this like loud brat. So I was like, is this going to happen the whole time? Oh my gosh, that was so funny. I'm not a terrible person, but like I do like things to be a certain way. Like there are social norms that you have to abide by. Like for, oh my gosh, here's another one. I was at the store yesterday. I was at the market waiting in line, and the line was very long, but I just so happened to get really lucky, and there were two lanes that were open right next to each other. And this kind of social norm thing where it's like, oh, you go, oh no, you go. For whatever reason, it became one line for 2 lanes, and there were like, I was like third in line, and then this ahead of or behind this other lady, and this lady was taking a look at like, oh, should I go here? Should I go here? And I was like, oh, maybe you could, take this one. And she was like, well, I'm waiting to see which one is faster. And I was like, oh. And the way I said, oh, it was so like passive aggressive. And she did still keep sitting there like waiting to see which one would open up first, but like she was holding up the line for at least like 20 people behind her, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Come on, can you just like just let us through? So my passive aggressive sort of like, I don't know, it made the whole situation like awkward and funny all at the same time. It was hilarious. Anyway, she took the right lane, and then like as soon as she picked a lane, all 30 of us behind like scattered to go pick our lanes too. Like she was the one literally holding up everybody else so that she could see which one would take less time. And I'm like, you know what takes less time? Just pick one. Like my East Coast attitude finally came out. Like I wasn't mad at her or anything. Literally all I said back was, oh. It's like passive aggressive answer. It was so funny. Anyway, I got peeved yesterday, and I was waiting for someone in line to pick a lane. I'm like, come on, just pick a lane. So funny. Ammo for a Red Ryder rifle, a BB, right? BBs. Part of an Easter egg kit, the die. Something that's not in the kit is those darn eggs. They're so stupid expensive now. So I don't know where you're at, but we went to the market I'm telling you, we went just yesterday, and eggs were, I don't remember. We didn't even buy eggs, you know? Like some people are just like, okay, I guess we don't eat with eggs. We don't cook with eggs anymore because it's so expensive now. I don't know. Yeah, Easter egg. If you're going to dye some Easter eggs, you need vinegar. You need, of course, eggs and the dye. Those little tablets maybe that make up the dye. All right. And then we spent altogether too long on the Wordle today. And then Vromo very well said in the chat, you can see it further up, he was like, oh, I can see the word. He knows. He's been on my chats before, but he knows, like, if I'm, not responding to the chat, it's probably because I'm in the Wordle. I will purposefully not look at the chat in the Wordle because I don't want anybody to just spoon feed me the answers, right? And so you guys might be screaming the answers to me in the chat, and I will purposefully not look at it, right? I'm not going to look at it. So, yeah, that's pretty funny. So grain, I just guess grain as an opening move. I don't have like a go-to word every time. I just sort of come up with a 5-letter word. You watch my old streams, every one of them has been a different opening move. I just try to come up with a word and see what happens. And today it gave me the A and the I, maybe to my demise, because I thought, oh, well, it must be an AI word, right? So then I tried it earlier, like a consonant AI, and it also told me it wasn't correct. So I'm like, all right, maybe we've got to split these up. I also tried cloud as a non-intersecting word, a word that doesn't use any of those first 5 letters. And then types, which usually there's not an S on the end. They usually don't just take a 4-letter word and add an S to the end to make it 5 letters. That's kind of a cop-out, right? So grain, cloud, and then types, and yeah, man, that was really tricky. It's so funny. Just yesterday, they had a word that was a double L. I think krill, Krill. And I thought, oh, how interesting. Like, I think I had the AIL in the middle. I was like, what? Or ARIL in the middle. I'm like, what else could it be? So then I came up with krill because I needed the K was there too. And it was a double L. Well, here we go. Another one that's a double L. So I sat there with the 4th guess thinking, well, what could it be? What could it be? And I knew that it was not layers, right? Because the S on the end, it already told me the S on the end. And just in my heart of hearts, I know that it's probably not a double S or an S on the end of a 4-letter word. Yeah. So then we tried villa. And villa, there, Roma was screaming the answer to me. So sorry about that. I just don't look at the chat during the Wordle. I go silent a little bit because I like to sort of productively struggle through that one. All right, and then the Strands puzzle was fun. It took a little while to crack the true meaning of the theme. Right, the feeling is mutual. People that are getting along, get along. There's the spangram. And we did people that mesh, people that vibe, people that agree, they click, they harmonize, they relate, and they connect. That's awesome. And then we finished off today with the letterboxed. And letterboxed, we had a couple of tricky letters, but we made it work, right? You had to solve it in 6 words, and we solved it in 4. So we had remover, and then remover, the R. That's a good thing it got rid of the V. And then the R led us to rejoin. I love, if there's an R and an E, I love trying to think of words, right? Because you can take a word and then add to it, and then you've used up a couple more letters. And then the N led us to nervous. That was another college level word. And then sax, just to get rid of the X at the end there. So awesome. Well, cool. This has been a fun one. Thank you for your help. Thank you for screaming answers to me, regardless of if I looked at them or not. This has been a fun one. Lots of people tuned in. So I just appreciate you coming by and helping me with answers. Yeah. So I don't know. You tell me, did you like an early morning thing? Sounds like Frank had a hard time because he's, on the other side of the pond. But if you like seeing these early in the morning, maybe I will wake up super early and do early morning. I don't know. What if I fell asleep in the live chat? Oh, that'd be bad. Okay. Well, anyway, you guys are awesome. Thanks for a great stream. Thanks for helping me with some of these crazy puzzles. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.